What is with this mouse? How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. So over on total for the daily, we do have an attempt to break away from our triangle, so I would exercise caution. If we confirm this tomorrow with a red candle, then we could break our support and then continue to our 300 EMA, at which point if we break that, I would watch for a lower low compared to these lows back here. If we see a lower low compared to there, then we could have a larger bearish trend forming. Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is pushing down, our money flow is green, but the VWAP, that yellow wave, is pushing down below that neutral, that zero. So I would watch if that yellow wave continues lower momentum, the blue wave will continue to round and break that neutral, and money flow will go from green into the red, showing that we have selling pressure. Remember, total is the market cap of all of our altcoins besides Ethereum. Over on the 1 hour here, we do have higher highs, watch for higher lows. If we can make a bounce here, then we can continue to try to break that resistance back into our triangle. But if we see a break of the 602, watch for a confirmation and a rejection. Stochastic does want to break down. RSI is starting to push away as a result. If that stochastic does break down and RSI weakens, then that will lead price lower. Our VWAP does have higher highs, but we're testing that neutral, and momentum does have a red dot, suggesting that VWAP does want to break neutral. If we break neutral and hold, then we will see money flow remain red. That will weaken higher timeframes, and that will cause a further sell-off. Over on Bitcoin futures, we have nothing to show. Remember, on the weekend, they don't trade. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we do have higher highs with potential higher lows so far, but we did not get a strong green candle after this kind of indecision long upper shadow from yesterday. Stochastic does want to pull back. That momentum does have a double red dot. Our VWAP is starting to break down, so watch it. If that VWAP continues to break down here, our money flow will go from green to red, and remember, we will see a further sell-off. Over on the 1 hour here, we are coming up to our 300 EMA. If we break down from here, we could see a further rejection. We do have a consolidation after a push to the downside, so we'll draw that out with our parallel tool here, and then we'll measure from the top to our bottom of our channel. Apply that to the bottom, and that would give us a breakdown toward around 67K. So I would watch that very close. If we do see that break, that could be what starts to cascade to fill those gaps. Remember, we would want to fill those gaps in order to keep a higher trend forward over time. You don't want to shoot up to like 100K and leave those gaps to crash down later. Our stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to pull back. That VWAP does have a lower low, and we are favoring bearish, so I would watch. If that VWAP continues to push down here, momentum and money flow will remain bearish, and we will see that bearish trend break down. We are approaching the third touch to the bottom, so if we get that breakdown and a confirmation of a rejection, I would watch for a further slide if we can't hold that 67. Over on graph for the daily, we do have lower highs and lower lows. This could create a further bearish trend. Our RSI is weakening, stochastic is pushing down. That VWAP does have a weak high, and we are in the bearish territory, so watch for a rejection. If we get a rejection and stay in the bearish territory on lower time frames, we could see a further push down. We did break that 14,316 like we warned against. Momentum is pushing down, so that VWAP isn't looking too good either. That could lead that money flow lower. Over on this 1 hour, we do have a rejection of our 14,316 after trying to get back above it, so watch for a lower low. If we follow this with lower lows and lower highs, we will start a bearish trend. VWAP will continue lower, momentum will remain lower. That momentum does have a red dot with that VWAP breaking down, and that money flow has been bearish for quite some time. If this VWAP continues to push down at this point and we get lower lows with lower highs, then it's likely we will see a further break to the downside. Remember, our next support level is around that 1157. So over on Ankr for the daily, zoom back in, we are seeing a push down to that value area low of our fixed range volume profile array around that 2338 like we did warn about. RSI, that red line, is continuing lower. Our stochastic, our double line, is pushing down with orange above blue, so watch as that does lead that RSI and price lower. Our VWAP, our yellow wave, is in the bearish territory here on our market cipher B. Momentum is pushing away our blue wave. As that VWAP and momentum continue lower, our money flow can go from green to red, and we would see a further sell-off. Over on Ankr for the 1 day, we do have several gaps to the upside, but we do see lower highs and lower lows. So right now, despite those gaps, we are in a bearish trend, but those gaps do leave us with a zone we can push up toward. I would watch for a push up toward around 2469. Our stochastic does want to round. That VWAP is in the bullish territory. Momentum is pushing forward, but that money flow does want to break. So it's that VWAP cannot sustain in the bullish territory here. momentum will reject, money flow would break down, and higher time frames would be in jeopardy of breaking away. So watch for a break of 23.38 and a rejection. If we see that, then we will likely continue lower. But if we can get back above that and hold, then we will see those gaps to the upside fill. So over on XRP for the daily, we had our symmetrical triangle and we broke to the downside by just moving sideways. So we will delete the symmetrical triangle. Actually, that's a lower time frame. We'll show how that played out. Stochastic is pushing down. VWAP is favoring bearish. Not very strong though, so that is positive. Our momentum is pulling away and money flow is in the green, but starting to stagnate. So watch that VWAP. Over on the 1 hour, you can see we did pretty much trend sideways. We did get lower highs and lower lows. That did cause that rejection. We tried to retest on that green candle. Then this red candle was a long lower shadow followed by another hammer candle. This kind of setup could have said we had some indecision and there was a chance to break down. So you could buy short or possibly set some sort of price to buy at that resistance. Or that support rather. Remember, support's below, resistance is up top. So this is a bearish trend. If we continue to see lower highs and lower lows from here, VWAP will pull back, momentum will remain bearish, and money flow will go in further into that red. Remember, as that money flow deepens in red, higher time frames will weaken. It has been red for quite some time. So over on the daily, we are green. Over on the 2 hour, we're red. Over on the 4 hour, we are breaking away. Remember, when the 1, 2, and 4 hour do break away, that's when the bears do tend to gain that control. So just in case you forgot that, over on Ankr or Algo for the daily, last but not least, unless we have any special requests, we did reject the bottom of our channel. We tried to push up, so watch for a confirmation of a rejection with a red candle. If we see that, it's likely we will push to the 1032 and possibly around that 8-9 cent area. Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is pushing down, that VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is pushing down, and money flow is indecisive at best, so I would watch that VWAP very close. Over on our 1 hour, we do have consistent highs with consistent lows. This could make a bear flag here. Remember, we have 2 peaks to the top, 3 to the bottom technically, so we are trying to get our breakaway. This is where you're going to want to watch. Then we do have quite the steep drop from here. This steep drop could end up taking us all the way down to our 1032 actually, so that could be our first breakdown from our bigger channel. Our stochastic does want to round away, RSI is pushing down, and VWAP does have a weak high, pushing back into bearish territory, giving momentum a red dot and pushing money flow lower. If that VWAP does not reverse and get higher lows with higher highs from here, we will see that breakdown and continue lower. Remember, watch for confirmation. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I appreciate all of you. Have a great night.